ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः. So we were in the 22nd Khandika of the fourth Brahmana of the fourth chapter. Here the Upanishad is trying to show how the entire Veda is useful for this Atma Vidya. Correct? There is a Eka Vakyata between the Karma Kanda and the Jnana Kanda also. So that Eka Vakyata means what? It's all for the same purpose. It is all one Shastra which is finally gearing you towards moksha, we can say. Okay, it is leading you to the moksha. So how is it? That's what we are going to see. In this context, I think we already saw the bhashya here, and we were in the almost at the last sentence we were discussing. Actually, we were discussing this Upanishad Vakya, correct? Here in the Upanishad, this one. So, tametam vedanuvachanena brahmanaha vividishanti yajnena danena tapasa anashakena. That is the Vakya, that is the Upanishad Vakya. Okay, this part. So, this is what we were discussing. So, this Brahman, which was already described previously, correct? Like Mahan, Ajaha, etc. And who is the, like Sarveshwaraha, Sarvadhipatihi, all these things were there. Correct? Sarvasya Ishanaha, Sarvasya Adhipatihi, Sarvasya Vashi. In all these words, it was described that Brahman alone, which is Atma, how do these Brahmanas desire to know? Correct? Brahmanaha Vividishanti. Here, Brahmanaha means anybody who desires to know this Brahman is a Brahmana we can take. One who is interested to know this Brahman. But how do they do that? Means four things are given here in the third case, correct? As the instrumental case, or the means is given in the third case here. Vedanuvachanena, yajnena, danena, tapasa. And this tapasa is also qualified by anashakena. Okay, these are all the words which are there. Now, in this context, the Vedanuvachanena only first we were seeing in the bhashya. Okay. So, Bhashyakara first gave the meaning of mantra brahmana adhyayena. So, Veda means mantra and brahmana, correct? Largely speaking, mantra is whatever is having a chandas, whatever is having a meter, whatever is chanted metrically is called mantra. And brahmana is the prose portion in general, prose. So, the mantra brahmana, largely you can classify the Veda. Further, you can also classify it as Aranyaka, Upanishad and all that. Okay, those classifications are generally the Brahmana only has the Aranyaka portion and also the Upanishads. So, Mantra Brahmana and Adhyayana means what? Not just learning from the teacher. It is that Nitya Swadhyaya Lakshanena, Bhashyakara said, means every day you have to do Parayana, correct? Whatever you have studied, you have to do Parayana every day. Swadhyaya Pravachanabhyam na Pramaditavyam. Like that, even the Taittiriya Upanishad is there. And that Swadhyaya every day you have to do without any laxity. Okay, you should not be lax. Apramada means there you should not be careless or lax. So that Nitya Swadhyaya itself is a karma, correct? And the Veda Parayana itself is a karma and it is supposed to give punya. So we can take it in two ways. I told that when you do the Nitya Swadhyaya, you get an apatata jnana. You get a general knowledge because you are doing the Parayana of the Upanishad portion, then you may have an interest, correct? What is this Upanishad saying? Everything else is saying something else, but Upanishad is talking about some other topic totally. So you may get an interest and then you will pursue it, let us say. But the other thing is, even the Parayana itself gives you a certain punya and it also purifies your antakarana, we can take, because the Sattva Shuddhi is the main thing. The The purification of your antakarana is the main thing for doing karma, particularly with yoga buddhi we say. Okay, the karma which you are doing, niyata karma, whatever is mandated, you are doing it for the sake of doing it. Then you have a certain mental disposition when you do like that, because then you overcome your own likes and dislikes. You become the master of your likes and dislikes, rather than uh, they governing your lives. You govern your own life, and you keep your likes and dislikes under your mastery. That is the kind of sattva shuddhi we talk about. That you will get also by doing parayana. So the nitya swadhyaya means you can do parayana of any portion of the Veda or the entire Veda over a period of time. In fact, even today many people do like that. Those who have done Veda Dhyanam, how do they keep remembering it, correct? But if they just chant once and they don't chant for many years, they cannot do Purna Veda Parayana and all that. But there are many people even today who can do the entire Rigveda Parayana. Rigveda Samhita is very big. Or even entire Samaveda, it takes some 7 days, 8 days to do Parayana. But they all sit, they don't look at anything, they just chant for 8 days. 8 days worth of content they have in the mind. So how do they retain that? Means because every day they will chant one portion. Like that, they'll complete it in so many days. I think they have some 48 days or some calculation they have. Okay. So that Nitya Swadhyaya itself is a karma, and it is also, it has certain punya, and by doing that only they eventually they'll get a desire to know this Atma. Like this we can take. Okay, and this Brahmana means Brahmana Grahanam Upalakshanartham Bhashyakara said, any all the whoever has adhikara for the Veda, they all can do this. Okay. So Trayanam Varnanam he said. So Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, all of them are qualified for this. The other meaning he gave, the second meaning also Bhashyakara gives, Athava Karma Kandena Mantra Brahmanena. So here Bhashyakara restricts to only Karma Kanda. Whatever in the Karma Kanda, the mantra, here the Anuvachana. So Vedanuvachanena is there, correct? Veda he is taking as Mantra Brahmana, but Anuvachana means whatever is revealed by the Veda, by the Karma Kanda, all those karma you do then. And that karma will purify. Like that also we can take the meaning. So here Vedanuvachanena Vividishanti means, that's why he asks how, Katam Vividishanti, how do they desire? Because whatever is revealed by the Karma Kanda, all those karma they will do. And what are those karma? That the Veda itself lists, Yajna, Dana, Tapas, like that. So by doing the karma which is revealed in the Karma Kanda, you get purity of mind, and then you become qualified for Vedanta. Like that you can take the meaning. So this is the other meaning, but the second meaning is not preferable. Bhashyakara prefers the first meaning. He takes the Vedanuvachana itself as a karma, like the Yajna, Dana and Tapas and all that. And that's what he likes actually, because there that Veda has the entire meaning of the full corpus of Veda, not restricted to only Karma Kanda. Now he is also going to criticize the view of Bhartru Prapancha. So next what he says is, Ye Punaha Mantra Brahmana Lakshanena Vedanuvachanena Prakashyamanam Vividishanti iti Vyachakshate. So some people give this kind of interpretation. What is that? This Mantra Brahmana Lakshana Veda, Anuvachana means they take it as Prakashyamanam. Whatever is revealed by this Mantra Brahmana, this Veda, that they desire. Now, if you take like that, then that meaning will be restricted only to Aranyakam, he says. Tesham Aranyaka matrameva Vedanuvachanam syat. For them, the Veda will have the meaning of only Aranyaka, because the Karma Kanda does not reveal the Brahman as revealed by the Upanishads. Okay, so Bhashyakara says, Nahi Karma Kandena Para Atma Prakashyate. So the Paramatma is only revealed by the Upanishads, which are there in the Aranyakas. That's why even the Upanishad, even this Brhadaranyaka itself has this, correct? Tam tu Upanishadam Purusham Prichami and all that. In the third chapter, we saw already. The Brahman itself is called Upanishadam Purusham. So it is revealed only by the Upanishads. So like that, the Vishesha Shruti also is there. So if you take it as Bhartr Prapancha has proposed, then the meaning of Veda will be restricted only to Aranyaka. That is not very desirable. At least Bhashyakara doesn't like. So he says, Vedanuvachanena iti अविशेषितत्वात् समस्तग्राहीतनं वचनं न च तद एकदेश उत्सर्गः युक्तः. So what he is saying is this Vedanuvachanena means that Veda word is generic, it is given as Veda, correct? That means there we have to consider the entire Veda and give the meaning, then only it is proper. It is Samastagrahi, means it is the entirety of the Veda you have to understand by the word Veda without any Shesha. Avisheshitatvat means what? Without leaving anything as Shesha, as something left out. So that Vachana, the Veda Vachana, you have to take it as complete Veda. That's what he is saying. You cannot take it one portion only. Nacha that Ekadesha Utsargaha Yuktaha. That is not proper. Once he says this, then the Purva Pakshi says, Nanu Tvat Pakshepi Upanishad Varjamiti Ekadeshatvam Syat. So now he says, even you say that whatever is revealed from the Karma Kanda, that karma alone they are doing, and by that they get purified and then they desire for this Atma. There also you have left out Upanishad. Like this, he is accusing us back. So now once he says that, Bhashyakara says, no, no, that is true, but for the second interpretation. But the first interpretation I give is not like that, He's saying, na adya vyakhyane avirodha. So the first interpretation I gave, there I have taken the meaning of Veda as the entirety of the Veda. So there it is not, what you say is not correct. There is no virodha there. Asmat pakshe naisha doshaha bhavati. So whatever meaning I have given, that nitya swadhyaya lakshana, there the swadhyaya is of the entire Veda, correct? Therefore, whatever defect you are saying is not applicable there. In fact, he is further giving arguments to substantiate that meaning. So he says, Yada Vedanuvachana Shabdena Nityaha Swadhyayaha Vidhiyate Tada Upanishadapi Grihita Eva iti. So he is explaining that. See, when we say Vedanuvachanena Vedanuvachana, that word is revealing Nitya Swadhyaya. By that, it is understood that every day you have to do Swadhyaya of your Shakha, Veda Shakha. It is mandated. Then there, Upanishad also is understood within that. That Nitya Swadhyaya, when you do Upanishad also, you have to do Parayana. So there is no problem. Entire Veda is considered here. Veda Anuvachana Shabda Artha Ekadeshaha na Parityaktaha Bhavati. Therefore, it is not that Veda Anuvachana Shabda that it is not giving up any portion of the Veda. When you take that meaning, it is taking the complete Veda. And further he says, Yajnadi Sahapatacha. The another thing he says is that this Vedanuvachana comes along with Yajnena, Danena, Tapasa. Correct? No, Yajna, Dana, Tapas, they are all karmas, he's saying. There are activities to be done. So he's saying Yajna, Dini, Karmani, Eva, Anukramishyan, Vedanuvachana Shabdam Prayunkte. So the Vedanuvachana Shabda comes along with these other Yajna, Dana, Tapas, etc. And therefore what Tasmat, Karmaiva Vedanuvachana Shabdena Uchyate iti Gamyate. So from that, Vedanuvachana also should be taken as an activity, he says, by itself. If you take it like that, then the only meaning you can give is the Veda Parayana. By Vedanuvachana, you have to take it as doing Parayana of the Veda every day. So that's why this Parayanam is a big thing for us. I think even later on, all the other Parayanas we have, correct? See, even those who, nowadays, most people do not do Veda Dhenam or they cannot do Veda Parayana. So what else can we do then? Means Nitya do at least Vishnu Sahasranama, Lalita Sahasranama. All these Sahasranamas are there. And there are so many other Parayanas you can do, or even Durga Shaptashati, depending on your Ishta Devata. You can do some Parayana you have to do, I think. Because the Upanishad itself says that this Parayana is going to give you Punya, that Punya will purify you. Okay. And that is a very important thing. In fact, here, interestingly, I was studying more about this Vivideshanti because there are a lot of discussions on this. So the Bhamati says Vividishanti is there, correct? So they get the desire to do, desire to know Brahman. So he says that the role of karma is over once you get the desire to know Brahman. Okay. Whatever karma you have to do, you do. And it has purified in you in such a way that now you have desire to know Brahman. Then you only indulge in the Sakshat Jnana Sadhana, which is Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. Everything else is not anymore useful. That is one view. Okay. That is the view of Bhamati. The Vivarana view is slightly different. The Vivaranakara says that even after you are a mumukshu, you want moksha, that is all fine. But even for you, this punya will still be useful for you. Till the time you gain jnanam, that punya is going to be useful for you. So its role is not just over just because you have got a desire to know Brahman. Okay, so that means this prayerful life is also essential for a mumukshu. You cannot just give up all this, whatever yajna, dana, tapas. In fact, even in the Gita, Bhagavan says, niyatam kuru karmatvam and all that. And then also he says, yajna, dana, tapa, karma. These are all should not be given up and all that, correct? So that is there. And therefore here, there are two views are there. And but I think, yeah, it is even for a mumukshu, a prayerful life and doing all this karma is important. Of course, you are not doing karma for the sake of karma phala, but you can still do it so that it will aid you in gaining this knowledge. Okay, so that's how you can reconcile the karma kanda with the jnana kanda. So here he says, karma iva vedanuvachana shabdena uchyate iti gamyate karma hi nitya swadhyaya. So nitya swadhyaya itself is a karma only. It is an activity and it has its own punya. Okay, once you say this, now they come again. What they are saying, katham punaha nitya swadhyaya dibihi karma bihi atmanam vividishanti. So now the question is, how can you say that by doing karma somebody will get desire to know this Brahman? What is the connection? Karma you do for karma phala. Karma is done by a karmi who thinks that he is a limited being and he is lacking something, and whatever he lacks only he is trying to get by doing karma, correct? So how will this lead him to have a desire to know Brahman? Okay, so in fact he explains that further. Naiva hitani atmanam prakashayanti. So all these things do not reveal this atma or anything, correct? Yajna, dana, tapas, etc., which is revealed by the Veda, that portion of the Veda does not reveal the Paramatma. You also said that already. So Atma is not revealed by all these things. Like the Upanishad, Yata Upanishadaha. Upanishads only reveal this. So how can these things lead one to get a desire to know Brahman? Meaning he says, Naisha doshaha. This is not a defect. Why? Karmanam vishuddhi hetutva. So what we say is, we do not say that karma directly reveals Brahman or anything. But karma gives you the qualification, correct? It purifies you. Vishuddhi hetutvat. So it is the cause for you becoming pure. In fact, so anytime we talk about purity, we have to define what is impurity, correct? So when we talk about Shuddha, we have to say what is the Mala. And what is the Malam means Ragat Vesha alone is the Mala. Okay, for a Mumukshu, Ragat Vesha is the impurity. So why is Ragat Vesha impurity? That is also a question, correct? Why Ragadvesha is considered as impurity for a person who desires moksha? That is because Ragadvesha implies that you are a wanting being, correct? Without you being a wanting person, you can never desire for something. The implication of Ragadvesha is that you are a limited, wanting, lacking person, correct? If you don't lack anything, you cannot desire anything also, correct? That is the thing. So, the first step in a mumukshu's journey is to relatively have a certain mastery over your ragadvesha, so that you don't all the time implicitly think that you are a lacking person, correct? That's not going to help you in internalizing this vision. When Vedanta is trying to teach you that you are the whole, you are Purnaha, you don't lack anything, etc., and then still the desire is there, means what? The desire is completely opposed to the vision of the Vedanta, correct? Any desire you have is completely opposed to the vision of Vedanta. So unless you have that under a certain level of mastery, that you are not under its spell, that is very important. If somebody is under the spell of his own likes and dislikes, you can give 100 classes, 1000 classes of Vedanta, even if they listen, nothing is going to go inside. Okay, that's why Bhagavan says, even in the Gita, he says, Shrutva Pyenam Nachaiva Veda Kaschiti, he says. Even though they hear about this Vedanta, about this Atma, that is an Ascharya, he says. Why it is an Ascharya? Because even after hearing, some people don't get anything. Why? Because they don't have the qualification. So this purity is very important. So it is the karma is the Vishuddhi Hetu. And he says karma bihi samskritahi vishuddhatmanaha shaknuvanti atmanam Upanishad prakashitam apratibandhena veditum. So apratibandhena means without any hindrance veditum, to know whatever is revealed by the Upanishad, correct? Upanishad prakashitam atmanam, the Atma, the Paramatma which is revealed by the Upanishad, to know that without any hindrance, without any obstacles, you should have a pure heart. Means you should be free from ragadvesha. And here Vishuddha Atmana. See the word Atma, in the same sentence, it is coming in two different meanings here. You should be very careful. See, Vishuddha Atma means there the Atma is the Antakarana. The purity is not for the Atma. Atma is Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukha Svabhavaha. Correct? If Atma is like that, then this here we cannot say that it is being purified or anything. Vishuddha Atmanaha means only the Antakarana can be purified. So therefore, the samskaranam or the purificatory action or the samskara is only for the Antakarana. So samskritahi vishuddha atmana. Or we have to say it is for the jiva. Because even Pujya Swamiji used to say Antakarana is jada. So the individual is purified, you can say otherwise. Okay, because then the Chaitanya also is there. The sentient being also we can count in. So karma bihi samskritahi vishuddhatmanaha. So by the purified antakarana only this Atma can be known, whatever is being revealed by this Upanishad without any hindrance. And then he is quoting the Mundaka Shruti also for this. Tatahi Atharvane Vishuddha Sattvaha Tatastu Tam Pashyate Nishkalam Dhyayamanaha. So only with Vishuddha Sattva. Again the word Sattva is used to indicate the Antakarana. That is because the Sukshma Sharira in that the Antakarana is supposed to have come from the Sattva Guna of all the Pancha Mahabhutas. The Sattva Guna of all the Pancha Mahabhutas together has become your Antakarana or the mind. Therefore, another word which is used to refer to the Antakarana is Sattva. Sattva Shuddhi also we say, or Antakarana Shuddhi we say. Or here he is simply used Vishuddha Atmanaha. So Atma also can be used. So Vishuddha Sattvaha Tatastu Tam Pashyate. So Tam there is the Brahman only. Okay, which is Nishkalam. And also Dhyayamanaha means with the Vishuddha Sattva, you have to do Shravana Manana and then you have to assimilate it. Then only one can know. Otherwise, you cannot know it and all that. In that section, it is beautiful that Mundaka Upanishad you can go and see. And further Smriti also is giving. Smritischa Jnanam Utpadyate Pumsam Shayat Papasya Karmanaha. So by karma, you have to destroy all your papa. Means if not entire papa, whatever papa which is obstructing you to gain this jnanam, that papa at least you have to destroy. Then only jnanam can be there. Like this, even Mahabharata is there. Moksha Dharma is the Mahabharata portion. In fact, Moksha Dharma itself, I am thinking of conducting some classes later. Let us see. It's a very huge section in Mahabharata, but interesting. Lot of Vedanta is there. And Bhashyakara also quotes from Moksha Dharma in many places. We have already seen even in the Brhadaranyaka itself, the Brhadaranyaka Bhashya. In many places, he is quoting from the Mahabharata and particularly from the Moksha Dharma. So, Jnanam utpadyate pumsam kshayat papasya karmanaha, and then so ityadihi. So, all this, both Shruti and Smriti are talking about this, the purification of the Antakarana, etc., as the hetu for gaining this jnana. Even after this, what again another question comes? Katham punaha nityani karmani samskararthani iti avagamyate. So how do you know that nitya karma are purificated? Okay, there may be other karma. So then he is quoting, again he is quoting Shatapatha Brahmana for that. He says, Sahava Atmayadi Yo Veda idam me anena angam samskriyata idam me anena angam upadhiyata upadhiyate ityadi shrute. So the Shatapatha Brahmana, this portion is interesting. There is a Devayaji and Atmayaji. So it talks about two type of people. Who is this Devayaji? Devayaji is only interested in doing karma to please the Devata and gain the karma phala. That person is called a Devayaji. Atmayaji also does the same karma. There is no difference in that. But he is not interested in the karma phala. He wants to know the Atma. So that Atmayaji is bigger or Devayaji is bigger? Means the Upanishad, the Brahmana, in fact, that is not even an Upanishad portion. There the Atmayaji is praised, in fact. And the Atmayaji is now saying, what is he saying? Yo, yo Veda, idam me anena angam samskriyata. So idam means whatever, idam is his own antakarana only is pointing. Anena, idam angam anena samskriyata means what? Anena means whatever karma he has done. That karma is purifying my anga. Means here the anga is the antakarana, we have to understand. And also he is saying, idam me anena angam upadhiyata. Upadhiyata means it strengthens, it improves and all that. That is the meaning. So by this karma, since I am doing it not interested in karma phala, but for antakarana shuddhi, so the same karma helps to purify and also strengthen my antakarana so that I can gain this knowledge. So this is there in Shatapatha Brahmana also. And further what? Sarveshu cha smriti shastreshu karmani samskararthani eva achakshate ashta chatvarimshat samskaraha. Okay, all these karmas themselves are called samskaras, correct? The Hindu samskaras and all we say, generally we say what jata karma or simantonnayanam onwards, jata karma, simantonnayanam, jata karma, and then or before that pumsavanam also is there. Pumsavanam, simantonnayanam, jata karma, then annaprashanam. Like that we have, in general we say 16 samskaras are there. But those who are Vaidikas, for them 40 samskaras are there because they do all these different types of yajna and all you are supposed to do, correct? There is a Paka yajna, Havir yajna, Soma yajna and all that. So if you add all of them up, another 26 comes. Okay, in fact, the Paka yajna itself is 7, Havir yajna is 7, Soma yajna is 7. That itself is 21. Then 5 more are there. So the 26 plus, or sorry, and 3 more are there. So basically 16 plus this 24 becomes 40. Chatvarimshat also is there, but here Gautama, in the Gautama Sutra, is talking about Ashta Chatvarimshat. Means 8 more he is adding. 48 samskaras are there. Means he is adding some Atma Guna like that, he is adding 8 more things. Whatever, like this Amanitvadi Gunas are there even in the Gita, correct? Like that he is talking about Atma Guna also, which you should cultivate. Okay? So, these 848 are all called purificatory only, correct? They are all purifying you. They are all called samskaras. That's why. So all these karmas are anyway called even by our Dharma Shastra as samskaras only. Therefore, there is no question of the karma not being able to purify you. It's only a matter of your attitude. That's all. And Gita also says that. Okay, Gita Sucha Yajno Danam Tapaschaiva Pavanani Manishinam. So in the 18th chapter, the Yajna Dana Tapah Karma Natyajyam and all Bhagavan says. And further he says this Yajna Dana and Tapa, why should you not give it up? Because they are purificatory for you. They purify you. They are Pavanani. Okay. And Sarve Pyete Yajna Vidaha Yajna Kshapita Kalmashaha. Like this is in the 4th chapter. He talks about all these different yajnas, correct? Dravya yajnas, tapo yajna, yoga yajnas, tatapare, swadhyaya yajnana yajnascha, yataya samshita vrataha. In fact, the swadhyaya comes as a yajna even there. Just now we saw Nitya Swadhyaya and all Bhashyakara also says here. So this different, all these yajnas, Bhagavan lists there. So many types of yajna. And what he says, Sarvepi yete yajna vidaha. So all these people who do all these yajnas, they are all what? Yajna kshapita kalmasha means what? Kshapita means destroyed. Kalmasha means all this papa only is called kalmasha, correct? A taint or a stain and all is called kalmasha, means here it is papa. So those who have destroyed their papa by doing all this yajna only are called as yajna kshapita kalmashaha. So they all have destroyed all these papa which are hindrance for this atma jnanam. That's why they are called yajna kshapita kalmashaha. So that is also Gita also is saying in so many words the same thing. Therefore, there is no question that this any karma, if you do it with the right attitude, that itself becomes purificatory for you. Further, what now he is going to actually yajnena. So there again, Vedan vachanena vividishanti, then yajnena. So yajnana means what? Yajnana iti dravya yajna, jnana yajnascha, samskararthaha. So that's what. In fact, Bhashyakara here is, I think, quoting, not really quoting, but he's keeping in mind what is said in the Gita. Correct? Bhagavan has listed all those different yajnas. So he says the yajna can be either dravya yajna or jnana yajna. And in fact, jnana yajna is praised by Bhagavan also in the Gita. Okay, amongst all the yajnas, jnana yajna is the best and all that he says. But all of them are for samskararthaha, for purifying you. And samskritasya cha vishuddha sattvasya jnanotpattihi apratibandhena bhavishyati. So again he says, what? For the one who is purified and one who is having a mind which is free from raga dvesha, correct? That is the vishuddha sattva here. For that person, jnanotpatti is there without any hindrance, any obstacles. Apratibandhena jnanotpattihi bhavishyati. It will happen. This jnanam will happen without any obstacles. That's why ataha yajnena vividishanti. Therefore, they desire to know this Brahman by doing all this yajna. And dana also. Danena, danamapi, papakshaya hetutvat, dharma vriddhi hetutvacha. Again, you do danam. Again, here, dana is taken as a separate karma. See, in many Vaidika karma also, you are supposed to do dana. That dana is not talked about here. Whatever is dana, which is part of a karma, is still that karma only. But here, dana is separate. Like even dana is talked about even in the Gita also. The sattvika dana, rajasa dana, tamasika dana and all is talked about. So we have to take this as a sattvika danam. Okay. So in this, you do danam, means danam also has punyam, and so papakshaya it does. Papakshaya hetutva dharma vriddhi also. Also it destroys papa and it gains punya also. It gives you punya, dharma vriddhi hetutvacha, and that will again help you for jnana prapti. And then tapasa, also tapas, by tapas, again tapa iti avisheshena krit chandrayanadi praptau visheshanam anashakena iti. So the tapasa anashakena is there. Bhashyakara is taking those two together. He is saying tapas is qualified by anashakena. If you just say tapas, it can mean any tapas, like Krit Chandrayana and all is the Vaidika tapas, then or any other tapas also you can take. But here it is specifically Anashakena. No, Anashakena means not eating, correct? Ashanam means eating. Anashanam means not eating. But it is not blanket not eating, correct? Without eating, you will die. In fact, Bhashyakara himself will say this very interestingly. So he says kama anashanam anashakam. So here the meaning of anashaka is not that you don't eat at all. You eat, but you eat only whatever is required. You don't just eat whatever you like. Okay, you should not eat like binge eating and all people do, correct, nowadays. So don't eat junk, don't binge eat, or don't eat whatever you see. Okay, whatever you like, eat whatever is necessary. Kama anashanam anashakam. Okay. Kama ashanam means you eating whatever you see and whatever you like. But kama anashanam means you eat only whatever is proper. Or even in the Gita, Bhagavan says, Yukta ahara viharascha yukta cheshtasya karmasu and all that. There, Yukta aharaha. That will only, for the yogi, that Yukta ahara will be the dukkha, he says. It will be the one which will save you from dukkha, correct? Save you from suffering. So like that here, anashakena means kama anashanam is what is meant here. Natu bhojana nivrittihi, he says Bhashyakara himself. Not that you stop eating completely. Why? Because bhojana nivrittau mriyate eva na atma vedanam, he says. If you just stop eating, you will only die. It's not going to help you to gain this atma jnanam. So this is the meaning now he has given for this yajnena danena tapasa anashakena. So now he is now going to summarize this. He is saying Vedanu vachana yajna dana tapashabdena sarva beva nityam karma upalakshyate. So now he is saying what? By all these three things, what is being really meant by the Veda is that all the nitya karma only is meant. Okay, whatever is mandated that you have to do, those karma you do. एवं कामवर्जितं नित्यं कर्म जातं सर्वम आत्मज्ञान उत्पत्ति द्वारेण मोक्ष साधनत्वं प्रतिपद्यते. So in this manner, what other than the kamya karma, all the nitya karma, naimitika karma, etc., you have to do. The karma jatam sarvam, he says, atmajnana utpatti dwarena. So it helps you in gaining this atmajnanam, and in that manner, it also becomes a moksha sadhana. Okay, parampariyena moksha sadhanam. In a series, it becomes, now it's not a direct cause, but serially it helps you. Moksha sadhanatvam pratipadyate. So therefore what? Evam karma kandena asya eka vakyata avagatihi. So from this what do we understand? This, in this manner, there is a eka vakyata for moksha also. Means with karma kanda also aids you in this moksha. So there is a eka vakyata for the entire Veda. That entire Veda is really only gearing you up for this moksha. So evam yathoktena nyayena etameva atmanam viditva yatha prakashitam munir bhavati. So in this manner, whatever you know, correct? This Atma, etam eva atmanam, this Paramatma, having known this, in the manner it was revealed by the Upanishad, what do you become? You become a Muni. Munihi bhavati. Muni means what? Mananat munihi. Muni means manana shilaha, we say. So the one who is given to thinking about something, correct? Or basically you have the ability to analyze and arrive at a discriminatory knowledge. Such a person is called Muni. Manana Shilaha. So you are able to put everything in your mind and then do Viveka, you get a Viveka Jnanam, you can analyze, the ability to hold many things in the mind and analyze. And also you are a yogi, he says. Yogi bhavati, or Muni can be taken as yogi. Yogi bhavati ityarthaha. Now, etam eva is there in the original Upanishad Vakya. See, if you go here, knowing this alone, you become Muni. The Upanishad says, correct? So it says, etam eva viditva is there here. Munihi bhavati. So now there is a question. Why the Upanishad is saying, knowing this alone, you become Muni? Can't you not become Muni in any other way? Correct? Like that, there is a question is there. So he is asking, Kim etameva atmanam, sorry, here, he is saying, etameva viditva munir bhavati na anyam, Bhashyakara first says. So by knowing this Brahman alone, one becomes Muni, not otherwise. Once he says this, the question comes. What is that? Nanu anya vedane api munitvam syat. So the Purva Pakshi says, no, even by knowing other things also somebody can become a Muni. Well, how can you say that knowing this alone he will become a Muni? Muni is only Mananashilaha. So katham avadharyate etameva iti. So how can you ascertain that knowing this alone one becomes Muni? Means Bhashyakara says bottom. Okay, there are many types of Munis, but what we mean here is what? Anya vedanepi munihi bhavet. So he accepts, okay, by knowing something else also somebody is an intellectual or whatever, correct? Munihi means you can even say he's an intellectual or a thought leader and things like that, words like that we use nowadays. So he can be an intellectual and all that, but what? The main thing here is what? Kintu anya vedane na munihi eva syat, he says. So the evakara, bhashyakara not only associates with etameva, but munihi eva bhavet also he says. Or munihi eva bhavati. He becomes only muni, not anything else. Means what? What is the meaning of that? So he is saying, kim tarhi karmi api bhavet saha. So if he is a muni by knowing something else, he will also be a karmi. He is not muni alone. But if you know this Brahman, you are only muni because you are not fit to do any other karma. Because karma is no more relevant to you. You are not even a karta, correct? You are not a karta bhukta anymore. So you are only a muni. So etam tu aupanishadam purusham viditva munihi eva syat natu karmi. By knowing this aupanishadam purusha, you are only this jnani or muni. You cannot become anything else, or you are not anything else. You are not a karmi anymore, at least. So that way, this etam eva, Bhashyakara takes that eva also to the muni. Munihi eva bhavet also he says. Therefore, what ataha asadharanam munitvam vivakshitam asya iti avadharayati. So therefore, here the muni is an extraordinary muni. So he is not a sadharana muni, not an ordinary muni. This person is an extraordinary muni. The extraordinary munitvam is what is being tried to is being conveyed by the Upanishad, he says. And therefore we ascertain it like that. Iti avadharayati etameva iti. Okay. And further what? Etasmin hi vidite kena kam pashyed ityevam kriya sambhavat mananameva syat. So what Bhashyakara says? See, having known this, and how is this revealed? This Upanishad, this Atma itself, what it is said, once you know this, what? Kena kam pashyed. By what you will see what? Because everything is Atma. For such a person, Sarvam Atmaiva Bhut means who is going to see what? So there is no question of Anya Vastu itself or any Kriya and all that. Kriya is, there is no chance or possibility of any Kriya. Kriya Sambhavat Manana Mevasya. Only Manana is possible. Therefore, Kincha Etameva Atmanam Swam Lokam Ichantaha Prarthayantaha Pravrajinaha Pravrajanashilaha Pravrajanti Prakarshena Vrajanti Sarvani Karmani Sanyasyanti Ityarthaha. Okay, further what kincha etameva atmanam, this atma which is being now under discussion, which is being revealed by the Upanishad, that itself is swam lokam, means it is one's own loka. For others, loka means they have to go somewhere, correct? They have to go to Devaloka, Pitruloka and all these Brahma Loka or whatever Goloka. But for the jnanis, there is no external loka or anything. This Atma Swarupa itself is the loka. Swam lokam, ichantaha, prarthayantaha. So they are not desirous of going anywhere. There is nowhere to go, in fact. Therefore, what? They are only they are only desiring to know one's own self. And therefore, what? Pravrajinaha, pravrajanashilaha, pravrajanti, prakarshena vrajanti. Prakarshena means something very intense. Okay? Or thoroughly you do something very well. That is the prakarshena meaning is that. Is they go from one place to another means they take to sannyasa. Pravrajanam means basically pravrajikaha. And all it means that the one who goes from place to place means he doesn't have any home or anything and he just begs for food like that. That is the traditional lifestyle of a sannyasi where they are not supposed to stay in one place for more than 3 days. or 3 nights, I think, correct? They can only stay 3 nights in a place. They keep on moving from one place to another, except for the Chaturmasya, which is now happening, in fact, because Chaturmasya is the monsoon time. They will not travel during that time. At that time, they used to be there in one place and then give some discourses and all that, teach people wherever they are. They'll take the Chaturmasya Vrata and they'll spend the 2 months there. Although it is called Chaturmasya, basically, they only do it for 4 paksha, not really 4 masa. So anyway, here they do this pravrajanam means what? They give up all karma. That is the meaning. Sarvani karmani sanyasyanti. So desiring this atma, they give up all karma. That is the meaning. And again he is saying, etameva lokam icchantaha iti avadharana na bahya lokatraya ipsunam parivrajya adhikaraha iti gamyate. So now Bhashyakara is taking the corollary of this. What is that? Upanishad is saying those who are desirous of this Atmaloka, they take to sannyasa. Correct? Sannyasa is mandated only for such people, means for those who desire the other things, sannyasa cannot be taken by them. That is also understood, he is saying. Correct? That is the corollary of this. So by saying this, Bhashyakara is saying, so etameva lokam icchantaha iti avadharana, by ascertaining that those who desire this Atma itself, this Loka alone, take to sannyasa. What is also meant is what is implied also is that those who Bahya Loka Traya Ipsuna. Because Bahya Loka Traya means what? Iha Loka. Because it was already said in the Brhadaranyaka itself, Putrena Ayam Lokaha and all that. By your son you gain this Loka, by karma you gain Pitru Loka, by Vidya or Upasana you gain Swarga Loka and all that. Okay. So that kind of 3 lokas, those who desire that, they are not qualified to take sannyas. Those who have external desires, those who have desires for external lokas, bahya loka, whether it is bhuloka or pitruloka or swargaloka, whatever, any other loka, they are not qualified for this sannyasa. Parivrajya adhikaraha na iti gamyate. They don't have any adhikara for this. Only those who desire this Atma Loka, Swam Lokam, they have the Adhikara. And in fact, he gives an analogy also. He says, Nahi Ganga Dwaram Pratipitsuhu Kashi Desha Nivasi Purvabhimukhaha Praiti. So you are in Kashi. Okay, we were all in Kashi, studying in BHU. Then what? If you want to go to Haridwar, because here Ganga Dwara is really Haridwar only is called Ganga Dwara. So Bhashyakara is talking about Ganga Dwara is really Haridwar. So you want to go to Haridwar from Kashi. If that is your wish, you cannot go east, correct? You have to go west. You have to go along the Ganga towards the west. You cannot go, if you go to the east, you will only go to the Bay of Bengal and all that sea. You will not go to Ganga Dwara. So you will not go that way. So like that, those who are interested in Atma, they will only take sannyasa. They cannot also be interested in other things and be doing karma and all that, because both are viruddha. They are like going in 2 different directions. 2 different goals are in 2 different directions. Only one thing you can do really. The one who is interested to go east and go to some whatever the samudra, that person cannot go to Ganga Dwara. The one who is interested to go to Ganga Dwara, that person cannot take the route for the Samudra. So that's how it is. So they are like in 2 different directions. Tasmat bahya lokatrayarthinam putra karma apara brahma vidya sadhanam. So for those who are interested in Bhuloka, Pitruloka, Swargaloka, the bahya lokas, these 3 lokas, what for them this putra and karma and upasana, correct? Putra karma apara brahma vidya. So there again vidya, there is apara brahma vidya, not brahma vidya. It is only brahma upasana. Those are the means for them. And again he is quoting the Brhadaranyaka. We saw this already, 1.5.16. putrena ayam lokaha jayyaha na anyena karmana, and karmana pitrulokaha vidyaya devalokaha, like that. You can go and refer to that. The Shruti is there. Therefore, ataha tad arthibihi putradi sadhanam pratyakhyaya na parivrajam pratipattum yuktam. So those who are desirous of these three external lokas, pratyakhyaya means what? Rejecting or giving up. They cannot give up all this karma, etc. Okay, and take up parivrajya, obviously. So those who are interested in that, they have to be in one place and do the karma and upasana and all that. They cannot give up all that. And those who are desirous of atma, they cannot be also doing all those things forever, correct? Because they are anyway not interested in karma phala. So what are they going to get from this karma phala? Nothing. Therefore, at some also see yoga buddhya karma kuru and all we say. That is like initially you are being in primary school. You have to study everything in primary school, but you cannot say I will be only in primary school. I will never graduate and go to middle school and high school and college and all that. That you cannot say, correct? Once you have certain qualification, you have to graduate and move up. So karma yoga and all that is fine. Even though you don't take a formal sannyasa ashrama, you should do tyaga. You have to do. You should be a tyagi. Whatever may be your lifestyle, mentally you have to be a sannyasi. That is very, very important for jnanam. You cannot not be a sannyasi and still seek this atma jnana. If you want atma jnanam, you have to be a sannyasi. Whether you are ashrama sannyasi or not is a different thing. But you have to be a tyagi. Karma phala tyaga you have to do, and eventually you will become a sarva karma sannyasi anyway. That is a different thing. Sarva karma sannyasa is the naishkarmya siddhi, which Bhagavan also talks about in the Gita, that you know yourself as not a karta bhokta. That way, all no karma can stick to you anyway. You are not even a karta. Correct? So here, so these people who are interested in all these things, they cannot take to parivrajya. So na parivrajyam pratipattum yuktam. Therefore, what? Atat sadhanatvat parivrajyasya. Because parivrajya is not the sadhana for gaining these three things. Giving up the karma and upasana and all are not the sadhana. Therefore, what? Tasmat etameva lokam icchantaha prabrajanti iti yuktam avadharanam. So, therefore, it is proper to ascertain that those who desire this atma loka, etam lokam means atma eva loka for them. This atma itself is the loka. For them, this prabrajanam, or they are the ones who go roaming around as sannyasis. That ascertainment is proper, ascertaining like that. And further what? Atma loka praptirhi avidya nivritto smatmani avasthanam eva. Now what is this Atma loka prapti? Do you have to go somewhere or what? No, it is only a figurative way of saying Atma loka prapti and all that. Basically it is what? Avidya nivritti. The ignorance goes, then you are there as you are. Swatmani avasthanam eva. You are already Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swabhava only is your Swabhava. It is simply recognizing who you are, who you were, who you will be always. You are as you are. Only the ignorance about yourself, taking the not self as the self and all that is gone. That is the idea here. That is the Atmaloka Praptihi. It is not any physically reaching somewhere or anything like that. There is nothing involved like that. Purely the separation is only due to ignorance, and the destruction of ignorance only is meant by Atmaloka Praptihi. Therefore, what? Tasmat Atmanam Chet Lokamichanti Yaha Tasya Sarva Kriya Uparamaha Eva Atmaloka Sadhanam Mukhyam Antarangam. So Bhashyakara says what? Therefore, what? Those who are interested in this Atma itself as their Loka, Atmaloka Michanti, that person Yaha, for him what? Tasya Sarva Kriya Uparamaha means you cease from doing all karma. At least you disengage from karma as much as possible, because the Sharira Yatra, for that you have to do some karma. You cannot disengage from that. But every other karma you can disengage. Okay. So Sarva Kriya Uparamaha Eva Atmaloka Sadhanam, and that is the sadhana for gaining this Atmaloka. That is the Mukyam Antarangam Sadhanam, he says. That is the internal sadhana. So that, of course, after withdrawing from all these things, you cannot keep thinking about the same thing. That's not the idea, correct? Why do you do all this? Because you can do Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. You can focus on this Atma, which is as revealed by the Upanishads. This Upanishadam Brahma, that is what now you are interested in knowing. Therefore, that is the main thing there for them. That is the main Antaranga Sadhana, Mukhyam Antarangam Sadhanam. And then what? Yatha Putradihi eva Bahya Lokatrayasya. For those who are interested in the external lokas, for them Putra and Karma and Vidya, correct? Apara Brahma Vidya. Those are the sadhana for them. And Putradi Karmanaha Atma Lokam Prati Asadhanatvat. And also this Putradi, etc. Putra, Karma and this Apara Brahma Vidya, they are all not the sadhana or means for gaining this Atma Loka. And further what? Asambhavenacha. And also what? But why can't we mix the two? Some people will come always. This Jnana Karma Samuchayavadi. Why can't we do both? Means they are contradictory. They are opposed to each other. Already I said, one who wants to go to Haridwar cannot go east from Kashi, correct? He has to go only west. You can either go east or you can either go west. You cannot go to both. There is no question of going to both, correct? Therefore, that's why asambhavena cha viruddhatvam avochama. So already I said it is opposed to each other. It is not possible to do both. Therefore, what? Tasmat atmanam lokam icchantaha pravrajanti eva. So those who are interested in this atma loka, they take up to this sannyasa lifestyle. Pravrajanti sarva kriyabhyaha nivarteran eva ityarthaha. So they have to give up. He sees silently Bhashyakara has changed the lakara. Because pravrajanti is lat, but nivarteran means there is a vidhi is coming there. They have to disengage, give it up, like that he says nivarteran. So he is taking. Already we have seen that he has argued that in the Veda this lakara assignment and all is somewhat flexible. So whatever in normal Sanskrit is lat can be taken as in a different lakara and made it into some kind of a mandate. That's what he is doing here. Sarva kriyabhyaha nivarteran eva ityarthaha. So yathacha bahya lokatrayarthinaha pratiniyatani putradini sadhanani vihitani evam atmalokartinaha sarvaishana nivrittihi parivrajyam brahmavidaha vidhiyata eva. So like even for those who are interested in the external lokas, the three lokas, what for them this putra etc. have been mandated as the sadhana or as the means. Similarly, he is saying those who are interested in this atma loka, okay, they have to withdraw themselves from all these three kinds of desires. Okay, putraishana, vitaishana, lokaishana. You withdraw yourself from all that. You reject all that and take up to parivrajya. And that is what is mandated for a Brahmavid also, he says. That is also very interesting here. Brahmavidaha vidiyate means, it is like saying as soon as you get admission into medical college, you call that person doctor, correct? Or as soon as you join, first day you go to your college, you become engineer in engineering college. Means it is bhavishyartha, basically. Whatever you are going to become, by that you can address somebody in the beginning itself. So here Brahmavidaha, if you are already Brahmavid, you cannot have any mandate and all that, correct? So here the Brahmavid word doesn't mean that you are already a Brahmavid. You are only one who was desirous of gaining this Brahmavid, correct? But still you are called a Brahmavid because eventually you will anyway become a Brahmavid. Keeping that in mind, Bhashyakara is using, his usage is like that. Brahmavidaha vidhiyate, he says beautifully. So this is the Vividisha Sannyasa Vidhi. Okay. And further we'll see in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.